Hi, Josh Apple here at the Raspberry Golf Academy. Today I'm at Virginia Golf Center and I'm going to go over the fundamentals of hitting a chip shot. A chip is one of the two main techniques in short game, chipping and pitching being the other, but today we're going to stick with chipping. So a chip is the smaller swing of the two, and it's more like a bump and run type shot where you're trying to get it on the ground quickly as possible and let it roll out to the target. So today I'm holding a sand wedge, a 56-degree club. And what's most important with chipping is understanding ratios. So this club will go about 50-50, meaning it'll carry 50% of the way and roll 50% of the way, assuming you have the correct technique. So I'm going to demonstrate the technique now. It looks something like that. Notice there's a very small swing. This point where the club head is even with your hands, I call no man's land. So you want to keep the swing under that, down here. Once you get here, you've swung too big for a chip and are approaching pitching. So keep the swing down here. Another key with chipping is that there's no rotation. You're just rocking your arms and shoulders. You're creating that triangle and just making a pendulum, rocking your arms and shoulders. Since there's no rotation, your head never needs to rotate either. I'm going to keep the head down like a putt. Just rock those arms and shoulders. So in terms of the setup, you want to make sure the ball is middle toward the back of your stance, but have your weight front loaded toward your lead side, for me, my left side. So in my setup, weight left, ball middle toward the back, and I'm close to the ball with a narrow stance when I chip. So notice there's some forward shaft lean here. You want to maintain that through the swing, keep that angle. A common thing I see among amateur golfers is doing this like a scoop, like trying to help it in the air, but just maintain that angle and brush the ground. The shot's not supposed to go very high, so you don't need to scoop it. That'll actually make you hit it thin and it'll go lower. So I'm going to hit it now. Notice my finish is here. I still have that shaft angle that I started with, and I didn't go on with a big follow through. It was the same swing back and through. A moment ago I said with a sand wedge your ratio will be about 50-50, meaning it'll carry about 50% and roll the other 50% of the way to the target. So I'm going to demonstrate that now. Notice where it lands and how much it rolls. So with that shot, it carried a certain amount and rolled about the exact same amount that it carried. Now if you went on to a lob wedge, for example, obviously it's going to roll less. If you use a gap wedge or a pitching wedge, it'll roll more than a sand wedge. You could even go down to an 8-iron. With an 8-iron, it might only carry 25% and roll 75%. You could even chip with a 4-iron, in which case it might only carry 10% and roll 90% of the way to the target. You can chip with any club in the bag as long as you have the proper setup and the proper technique and make solid contact. That ratio will be very consistent. I'm Josh Apple, and that's your tip of the day.